Hey there viewers, and welcome back to the South Main Auto Channel. Got this 2011 Chevrolet 2500 HD here. It's got the big Duramax Diesel in it. And it came in with a little interesting story. The guy dropped this off today. He made an appointment about a week ago. And up until that point, evidently this truck has been at the Chevy dealership. And it's been there for about 3 weeks, he told me. He dropped it off with this complaint of the check engine light is on, the speed is evidently limited to 55 miles per hour, and the service diesel fuel exhaust system light is also being displayed across the information center. So he just, assumed that going to the dealer was his best bet, that they could get them fixed up and back on the road. But 3 weeks later, they told him, no bueno, we can't fix it because we don't have a diesel guy, is what they told him. And they made him a heck of an offer on a new truck if you want to trade in for a new truck, but he said he didn't want to because this truck's only 4 years old. He just wanted his truck fixed, period. And they told him they couldn't help him. So we're gonna take and plug into it. And like I said, the engine light's on, this diesel, I'll show you on the dash, it's lit up like a Christmas tree. And I figured, well, we can at least plug into it and try. No guarantees, but let's see what it is and see if we have the ability to repair this thing and get this guy back on the road. So it's key on, engine off. You can see we got the classic check engine light. That must be the diesel exhaust fluid light. And you can see in the information center, we have see owner's manual now. Yep, there's the speed limiter. And then I think it said service diesel exhaust fluid system. There it is. So that's what it looks like even when it's running. We get the same messages. So we got the Altel plugged in here. Let's go see what kind of codes we got. I don't know where my stylus went. I bought a couple stylus, but they don't work that good on this anyways. So get the VIN number here, and it's one neat thing about this Altel, it does auto detect. You just hit the button and you're done. See, manual transfer case, I believe it is. Auto HVAC. It does have trailer brakes over 8,600. Vehicle stability with or without JL4. Let me go look. This one is with JL4. Oh no, I got another one. With or without Z95. Let me go look again. Right, this one is a Z82, so we're without Z95. Okay, so we got 11. Light duty truck, 6.6 LML engine. Yep. Seems right. I got the key on. Sometimes it takes a minute to establish communication, so what I'll do is I'll let it get hooked up here, and then we'll just run it right through a full auto scan. It'll go through and check all the different modules and see what codes are where. Sometimes that can take a minute or so. So I'll just shut the camera off until this thing's done, and we'll kick her back on and see what codes we have. Okay, the auto scan is complete. It's kind of all the different modules on this truck. It goes through and checks them all. Quickly just hit the report button, and it'll bring up your different faults in each module. Come down and get the codes. So this is the engine control module 1 code, and it has a P20B9-00, which is Reductant Heater 1 control circuit. And in the glow plug control module, it also has the same code. So the reductant heater, your reductant fluid is your DEF fluid, your diesel exhaust fluid. So I think they call it reductant. So really, out of all the modules, we only have 2 codes. And I guess that's the one, basically they're trying to hunt down here. So let's look this up and kind of see what this thing's made out of, and kind of take our diagnosis from there. We have to gather a little bit of information before we go do visual inspection or anything like that. It's kind of see what we're looking for anyways. So I got the info here in Mitchell. I'll scroll down to the diagnostic code list, and we are at our P20B9. Kind of poke around here. We'll see what we have. Same thing, yeah, the reductant heater 1 control circuit. And just gathering some evidence here, it looks like there is 3 reductant heaters. According to this, we've got reductant heater 1, 2, and 3. All right, we'll see if it gives us some basic information as far as what we're looking at. What do we got? Well, we'll just kind of scroll through here. B209, okay. So this breaks down our different codes as far as what the PCM's seeing for under our diagnostic fault information here. It looks like DEF heater tank control circuit, pump line heater, and reservoir heater. And this P20B9, for whatever reason that's a mouthful. Evidently this code can be set from an open or high resistance or a short voltage, and it is the reservoir heater control. So these have a DEF tank on them, so I assume with this code being set, it must be, probably, for either for an open circuit or short voltage in this reservoir heater control. It's got a little bit of information here about the circuit system. 20B9. ECM receives GPCM, so that's probably the glow plug control module. So the engine computer receives a glow plug control module serial data message indicating that the heater control circuit is open for greater than 3 seconds. Well, this seems kind of simple for a for a dealer not to be able to fix, diesel or non-diesel. Gas, this thing can run on bananas as far as I care. I mean, it looks like we're trying to diagnose a simple circuit. So before we even read any of this crap, let's try to find a wiring diagram here. Find out where this thing is, just see if we're just dealing with an open circuit on a heater, this is kind of stupid. I gotta find the right diagram, bus wiring. See if we can find a wiring diagram here that shows what we need. It's glow plugs. Reductant sensor module. Reductant system wiring schematic, maybe that's it. Okay, let's see. Oh, look at there. So there's our heaters. Reductant line heater, reductant tank heater, and reductant pump. And this here must be, according to the diagram, this is the heater that's inside the pump, but from the sounds of it, this is the one we were looking for, this reductant tank heater, because that must be the reservoir. So, well, let's slide before we get too far, we'll take and just put the truck on the lift, see if we can find this tank. Looks like it's controlled by a transistor here in the glow plug module. And it goes to ground, so, well, now that we know where we're looking, let's do a little visual inspection real quick. So putting the lift under this thing, it looks like this tank is right here, the reductant tank. That's kind of in a bizarre spot. Hopefully we can see the sensor or the heaters and stuff. Hopefully you gotta step one, remove the cab. That's why they didn't want to work on it. I got no idea. If we can't see the wires, that'll be a real showstopper, but let's see what we can find here. Show you what we got. So that's the, like I said, that's the tank. You've got some hoses. I know it's kind of hard to see, but there's a filler neck hose. Goes up under the hood where you actually fill it. Then kind of come around here. You don't really see much. I assume there's a big connector up there. I assume that's probably the connector that runs to the top of that tank. That connector there. I'm not really sure. We come around here, you can kind of see some, up through the crack there. It's hard to see, but there is a couple wire harnesses up there I see. It's kind of hard to tell. In either case, it looks like the tank, if we have to take it down, it looks like it comes down pretty easy. A couple, got a strap there. Looks like there's a strap right there, so, and then just the filler neck has a spring clamp on it. That may be what we have to do if we find that it's just, an open in the heater. So I'm gonna go grab a wire diagram and we'll see what wires it is, see if any of that matches, see if the connector matches, and then take our diagnosis from there. I printed this out a diagram here, and I assume this one we're going after this tank heater. A single black wire going down to a ground, and then from our glow plug controller down the heater, looks like it is orange with a white stripe all the way down, goes through a couple different connectors there, so there is some possibilities of some faults, connection wise. But I say we just see if we can locate these two wire colors, the orange with white and the black. I doubt we got any break at the splice or anything, because we'd have a bunch of heater codes, but you never know. Let's see. Let's try to go with some details here. Just back on the wire diagram, we are looking for that orange with white and the black. I'm just wondering if the smartest thing to do, instead of going to that big connector up top, is to just, this tank is held in with 2 bolts, just maybe loosen that up, let it hang down so we can see this directly, just for a quicker visual inspection, than just go right to the sensor. Straps. Yeah, come out of there. Looks like these things were just keywayed in there, but evidently doesn't that want to come out. The tank strap has a little keyway, very similar to a gas tank. Just hooks up in there, but whew, it's a little snug. So what we'll do, we'll just leave that front one hooked up. Kind of pry that down like that. We'll see if we can see on top of this thing. Well, I cannot fit my big fat head up there, so I took and put some different lift extension arms on here and moved my other arm more forward. Put a stand under this thing. So hopefully now we can see our heater circuit. Feels like it's full. Kind of looks like a regular fuel pump setting unit up here. Of course, we got a buttload of wires. All kinds of fancy stuff. Holy cow. Back when I was a kid, trucks had injection pumps. Alright, well, let's find I guess we gotta find our wire covers. I don't even know what this heater thing is supposed to look like. I think we were supposed to have an orange with white wire. And I can see it in this big connector. The funny thing is, I see the orange with white on one side, but not on the other side. So probably piss poor information as usual on Mitchell. So we're gonna have to figure out if this thing has an updated harness, or I mean, none of the colors match side to side here. Well, yeah, I guess they do there. Across the top, they don't. So we're gonna have to look and see what the deal is with this. Does this thing change wire colors out the back side? If so, what color is it? And then take our diagnosis from there and let you guys have a look at what I was seeing. So here's the top of this DEF tank. A lot of, like I said, got a lot going on up here. But you can see up on this connector, I've got that orange with the white wire right there, you know, sticking right out. I assume that's the one we need. But then on the other side of this connector, there is no orange with white, so it must change colors. So we got to kind of figure out what we're looking for, what we're testing. I don't even know what this heater looks like. You know, even what we're after, to be honest with you. Kind of nice to know what it is and what's a pump, because there's got to be like a little pump down here and a pump heater and all that business. Let's see if we can find out some more clues looking at some diagrams. Right, so we can see on the wiring diagram I printed out, this is the reductant tank heater. It's supposed to be orange with a white stripe, and then black for the ground. So the orange with the white stripe is the one that runs by the transistor in the skull plug module, power side switched, and it goes into this connector right here, this was it X395, is that what that said? Yeah, X395 is the connector. So I assume that's that big honky one under the vehicle, but like I said, it goes in orange and white, but up there it does not come out orange and white. So that's, you know, it's not too uncommon, but we're gonna try to find a wiring diagram here, see if we can find these connectors. And then we've got, right here we got wiring system, power management, inline harness connector views X222 to X601. And we're looking for number 395. 395, engine chassis harness to reductant jumper harness, connector end view. All right, so that's that big honky connector under there. And then we can look here. It is pin C5, orange with white. So connector, so this is row C, you know, 1 through 8, so that must be how it hooks the vehicle. Let's see, so these are our pin numbers. Okay, right there, pin C5, orange with white. Okay, that's the circuit number. Circuit 3670, yep, DEF, reservoir heater control. Well, there's your problem. Right there, pin C5, dark green and white, reservoir heater control. And then right next to it is the ground. So it appears, because this must be 1/2. Let's see, because yeah, it's black for black, pink and black, black and black. Green and white. What is this? The only one that changes colors? Dark green, dark green. All right, here, yeah, the heater control. So this pump heater control, that changes colors in and out. Gray, black, brown, light green, light green. So it looks like the, that's stupid. Two wires in that whole connector change color on the way in and out. So we're looking orange and white on the way in, dark green and white on the way out. Well, that gives us some guidance. Well, that's kind of silly because on the wiring diagram, clearly it says orange and white. All the way in, all the way out. Wow, that's a big fat lie. Okay, so with that newfound knowledge, we can look at this bad boy. There we go. So there, get you up there, is our orange with white right next to our black. So that's our control and our ground. And then, let's see if I can show you this here. Sorry about the shaky video. Come around the other side. So that's going to be pin 5. So there's our dark green with a white stripe and our black, which directly correspond with that. Well, that was easy. Now let's see if we can't get that thing unplugged. Let's set the camera down. because we can't do these connectors with one hand. Oh, there we go. There it is. Okay. Get this down so we can work on it. Visual inspection. Do we see anything? Negative. And we got our dark green and white and black. That's those two big honky pins at the top. So let me grab an ohm meter and let's just see if we have an open circuit. There's quite a bit of work to check for an open circuit. Alright, so we'll get this baby set up on ohms. We should have some kind of continuity through there. Probably a really low resistance would be my guess. Can you guys see that? We have 0. Okay. Alright, let's find these bad boys. White with black, or yeah, white with black. Black wire, and the green with the white stripe. What do we get there? 2.25 kilo ohms. Well, that's quite a bit of resistance for a heater, don't you think? What's the next wires down? Let's find another heater. All the way at the bottom, we got gray with white and black. I think that was one. Let's check that. We don't have a code for whatever one that was. Oh, what's that? 4.6 ohms, okay. So that's another heater. I'm pretty sure that's another heater circuit, that gray with white and black. We'll go look. We'll go back on our original one. Green with white and a black stripe. 2.28 kilo ohms. That's too much for a heater. That would never work. Well, let's go see. Alright, so back over to the computer. We tested this pin here, C5, C4. Sorry, C4 and C5. Yeah, 1 through 8, dummy. So we did that, and that showed a high amount of resistance up into the kilo ohms, and then we come down here to A4 and A5. Tested those, which were another heater circuit, if memory serves me right. So A4 is a ground, A5 was the pump heater control, which only had 4 ohms or so. So that kind of proves that theory. I guess the thing to do is to find out what this reservoir heater control circuit is supposed to be resistance wise, and we may have just found a problem. That seems kind of ridiculous if it was that simple. So I'm going to do some poking here and see if I can find a spec for that, which may take forever because there's a lot of information on these, but we'll see what we can find. All right, I think I found some definitive information here. They got a few tests for these reductant heaters, which some of these are kind of silly. They want you to ohm test the ground, so that's about ridiculous. That will tell you nothing. Never ohm test the ground. Doesn't mean it can carry current. The other thing I thought they had wrong here, it tells you to turn the ignition on, connect a test light between appropriate control circuit below and the ground. And if we remember from looking at the diagram, it is a power side switch transistor. So it tells you to hook it up, use a scan tool to turn it on and off, and it says if the test lamp is always on, test the control circuit for a short to ground. That is so wrong. It's not even funny, because if the control side was shorted to ground, it would just blow the fuse or whatever controls it. It wouldn't turn your test light on, it wouldn't do anything. It's shorted to ground. But anyhow, I read through all their garbage. They got a bunch of ridiculous tests. And then it comes down to somewheres here. I was reading, I thought, it gives us, I thought we had a resistance check here. Where was it? Here we go. Measure the resistance between the control circuit and the ground circuit terminals listed below. Reading should be 2 to 4 ohms for the heater. For heater 1, 8 to 10 ohms for heater 2, and 3 to 5 ohms for heater 3. Well, there we go. That's our answer. It is all, every one of them is less than 10 ohms. We're up into the thousands of ohms. And A5 and A4, B5 and B4, and C5 and C4. So those 6 big fat pins in the middle are all the heater circuits. If not within specified range, test heater control grounds for open. If circuit text normal, replace the appropriate reductant heater. Well, why couldn't the Chevy garage figure this out? My 8-year-old son could do this one. So I guess we're at the point where let's just kind of follow these wires, make sure there's not just another crappy connector, and if there's not, we'll see if we can use the scan tool to toggle this thing on and off, make sure it didn't, it couldn't have burned up a driver. The resistance went up, so therefore the amperage would go down. So I'm not really too worried about that. Man, this seems way too simple. Okay, so there was the 2 wires we checked. Definitely had high resistance. Those 6 big pins in the middle, those are all heaters. And I guess just for the heck of it, why don't we just let's just zip down all these heaters just real quick. I mean, I know we just did 2 of them, but the one was just kind of on a guess. I was pretty sure that was a heater circuit. So we'll go back to our multimeter. Get this thing set back up. How did I have that? I just had it kind of resting there so you guys could see it. All right. Hopefully you can see that. Where we at? Okay. Let's zip back down those. This is pin A4 and 5. I just want to be sure. This just seems like a very simple fix for what it is. We got 4.6 ohms there, so that's good. We'll go to our next heater up. This is pin B4 and B5. We're at 8.6 ohms. Just to be 100% certain, we'll go back up to our reductant tank heater, pin C4 and C5. This is the one that we wanted. And we're at 2.28 kilo ohms. Make sure you keep track of your scales. This one could trick you if you're just looking at the meter. So yeah, it's definitive. And then now we'll kind of follow this up and around. So there's dark green with the white, goes to this connector. This connector comes around, goes up here. It looks like it just goes down inside that sending unit. Well, I tell you what, let's make sure this connector here is not just all crapped up. Let's see if I can get this thing out. Let's see. Let me get a little screwdriver. Yeah, so unplug the green and white and black, which changes colors again, goes to red with white, which this must be just the pigtail off our reductant heater, which goes up there. Feels like it turns to like a solid core wire. It gets really hard under that heat shrink there. And then kind of has a wire separated and then just goes down. So I say we just check it here. That'll eliminate any wire issues from here up to here, which I doubt we have, but better safe than sorry. All right, our meter's good. We'll come up on the pink and white wire here. Oops. Get on it. There's one. Okay, there's the other one. Where are we at? We're at 2.25 kilo ohms, so nothing changed. I'm gonna call it. It needs a reductant heater, but before we get slid, we probably ought to make sure that we've got power down here. Well, I went and plugged the big connector back in. We'll just check for, we'll see if we can command this heater on right here. See what these pins feel like. Oh yeah, we can easily, you guys are gonna go nuts. Oh man, just drop my needle. Just drop my needle. Well, just front probe this connector. That'll make somebody squeal. we'll get a couple jumper wires, and I'll just run them off of this. We'll hook them to the old scope on a rope and see if we can command the sound with our scan tool. Hopefully we can. If not, I don't know. We know the heater's junk. We know that for a fact. We tested that. That's a known. It sure would be nice to see this thing light up and you know, verify the rest of our circuit, and then we can make the call that she's DOA. So there's the connection. We're front probed into that connector. Big no-no, never front probe. Then it comes down, and then I've just got it hooked to my test light, one power, one ground. And technically, if we can toggle this on and off with our scan tool, which I don't know if we can do, then we should be home free. So we'll back out of here. The glow plug controller is what runs this little guy. Reduction system, maybe there. Fluid quality leak, purge, injection. Special, maybe it's a special function. Injector flow, regen. It's like a bunch of resets. Oh, I gotta get the phone. Telemarketer, go figure. Okay, so glow plug control module. Let's go there. It's got to finish scanning before we can go there. I'll wait for that to finish scanning, then we'll go there. Okay, we're in. Now, right? Yeah, did I end up? Gotta remember, did I end up going in? I don't even know what I did. Clicking. Click happy. Phone's ringing, the door's dinging. I know in the video it kind of looks like it's continuous and fluent, but it's not, trust me. Okay, so here we'll go. There we go. Active test. Bingo, reductant heater. What are we doing? Bread biscuit, what was the code? Was it 1? I don't even know now. One calls it a tank heater. I think the code went by like maybe number 1 or number 2. We can just turn them all on, I guess. Doesn't matter. Let's see if it tells us. I can't remember. The heater 1 control circuit. Okay. So go back here. Active test. Reductant heater 1. See what kind of prompts we have in here. On. It's on. Let's see if our test light is lit. It's not. It's hanging limp, not lit. And this thing says the command state is on. But it also says here that it's off. Oh, I missed it. By the time I turn around, let's go like this. Let's go over where we're working. Dummy. Should know better. So it must be it only commands it on for a given amount of time. So there's our test light hanging. We'll come up here and we'll command it on. We can see we got a little bit of a light, just long enough for us to turn around and look, and then it goes away. So there we go. The light is on for a little bit, then it's off. We win the war. This thing just needs a heater. That was gravy. Well, that almost seems too easy. You know, it's a simple 2-wire circuit. You know, diesel mechanic or not diesel mechanic, it seems like any mechanic could really figure that out. That's probably one of the most basic circuits that you can diagnose. I mean, 2 wires, it's slightly less complicated than a 3-wire sensor. So I don't know what the real story is. That really still seems kind of fishy. Going in this blind, never even seen one of these. I mean, you know, we service some of these trucks, but I've certainly never seen, you know, that code or done any amount of work on them, so to speak. because we mostly work on gas engines here, which don't have this system. So it seems pretty definitive. Heater circuit is, you know, high resistance, control side, ground side, that all works, light to light. That's all we need. I guess we got to look up some parts now and see if this is a serviceable part or if it's going to be, you know, $5 million to buy the whole tank or what it is. I don't know, but we'll look at that next and then continue on from there. So put in the VIN here. We're going to look up some of the OEM stuff. And we come over to emissions reduction. So this should give us an exploded view. And I think the heater, yeah, there's our connector. Yeah, that's our 2-pin connector. Comes around, yep. That's that little butt splice thing there. So it looks like we got to buy that whole module. I don't know what else it has in it. I don't know if there's a little pump in it or whatever. It's like number 14. Click on that. Call contact dealer. Oh, that's lovely. All right, well, I guess I gotta make a phone call because, can you click on anything else? Yeah, you can buy the tank. Well, I gotta contact my dealer. Looking in the DEF tank, there's a tank heater, heater 1, I guess it's called. Looks like it might be part of the whole fuel module. When I look it up here on the OE software, it tells me to call you. Yep. It says call Jim, he's the man. That's exactly what it says. I won't tell nobody. So I'll pull up see if I can get a graphic pulled up here and give you an idea what I'm looking at. You show a picture of the whole DEF tank there, do you? Okay. You said 266.47? Okay. Oh, okay. When can you have it? Be Friday. Okay, yeah, go ahead and get that. Get that gasket below at number 13, the gasket that it slips down into. Well, viewers, that's that. I'm gonna enjoy my pumpkin roll, my hot apple cider. And I called the dealer, and it doesn't really add up because I talked to them, and they changed the NOx sensors, some injectors, some other module. And they claim that it wasn't even there for this, you know, DEF problem. And, you know, he did say they did have it for a long time because they were waiting on parts and well, I can't repeat what he said because he said some naughty words. And, you know, that he did a load of work to it. And, you know, that's that. But, so I don't know. It doesn't really make sense. You know, maybe the customer dropped it off and, you know, with the money light on and picked it up and now the money light's still on. I don't know. You can never really get the answer out of the dealer. You know, the Acadia that had the messed up radio? Well, guess what? Same dealer. So I don't know. I don't know what the real story is. Nobody knows. And the dealer told me that I should not be fixing it because it's still under warranty. They should bring it back. The customer doesn't want to bring it back. He just wants it fixed. So we ordered the parts, and we're going to fix it. So that's the end of the story, so stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for watching.